The grassroots community organization called ACORN helps low-income Americans find affordable housing and gets tens of millions of dollars in government funding. But as Cynthia Bowers reports, that may be coming to an end after a scandal caught on tape.
The videos reportedly recorded in late July and early August appear to show ACORN employees in several big cities, including Baltimore, Washington, and New York, advising a couple posing as a pimp and prostitute.
And don't say that you're prostituting or whatever.
The employees are heard telling the couple how to avoid paying taxes.
Don't worry, you're fine.
And how to qualify for a mortgage on a home the couple plans to use as a brothel.
So stop saying prostitute. Got it. Okay.
ACORN says the workers caught on tape were fired, but contends the videos were illegally obtained, doctored, and deceptive, and is threatening legal action against the undercover filmmakers posing as the couple.
We are experiencing the modern-day version of McCarthyism. Have you now, or have you ever been associated with ACORN?
No matter who's to blame, long-term damage to the reputation of the poverty rights organization may already be done.
Now, I don't believe it was accidental that this video caught ACORN employees delivering the same message in different cities.
Last night, the Democratic-controlled Senate voted 83-7 to deny ACORN access to millions of dollars in federal housing funds.
They magnify a troubling, systemic, and a criminal pattern.
Just last week, the Census Bureau severed its ties with the organization, meaning ACORN workers won't be part of the 2010 census count. For its part, ACORN says it registered 1.3 million new voters just last year and has helped hundreds of thousands of families buy and keep their homes. But critics point out ACORN also faces voter fraud charges in nearly 24 states.
It has no business trying to organize voter registration because it has shown time and time again that it cannot be trusted to do that.
According to a website that tracks government grants, ACORN has received 53 million tax dollars since 1994, and many now want to know exactly where those millions wound up. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Chicago.
Now a follow-up to our report last night about ACORN, the grassroots community organization. Today it ordered an independent investigation of its operations. This is in response to undercover videos that show ACORN employees giving advice to a couple posing as a pimp and prostitute on how to cheat on taxes and a mortgage application. The employees have been fired. ACORN's CEO called their actions indefensible.
Now we turn to the controversy surrounding ACORN. The community organizers conservatives criticized during the campaign. Now a young conservative activist has landed ACORN in a lot of trouble with Congress, now scrambling to cut government ties with the group. Our senior investigative correspondent Lisa Myers has our report.
ACORN has long been a target of conservatives and most recently came up as an issue in last year's election.
We need to know the full extent of Senator Obama's relationship with ACORN.
The liberal community organizing group registered more than 1 million low-income voters. Republicans questioned its methods and accused ACORN of trying to steal the election for Barack Obama. Over more than 2 decades, ACORN has received tens of millions of federal dollars to help poor families with housing. It also provides other community services. Now, hidden camera videos show ACORN workers in several cities advising how to evade the IRS, even how to conceal underage prostitution.
What if they're making money because they're performing tricks too?
If they're making money and they're underage, you shouldn't let nobody know anyway.
The videos were shot by a 25-year-old conservative activist and a friend who posed as a pimp and prostitute. Republican leaders reacted quickly.
We need to make sure that we sever all ties that ACORN has with the federal government, to cut off all funding that they receive from the taxpayers.
The Census Bureau has severed its ties, saying it no longer wants ACORN's help counting low-income families. And this week the Senate voted overwhelmingly to cut off all federal housing money for ACORN. ACORN says it has been targeted unfairly and claims the filmmaker was thrown out of offices in other cities. But today, ACORN's CEO announced an internal investigation and review of practices.
We would terminate anyone who did not abide by our professional standards.
Still, these images will not fade quickly, even among ACORN's friends. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.
Next, we're going to turn to a political firestorm that is in Washington. For years, Republicans in that city have been taking aim at an umbrella group of community organizers called ACORN. Opposition to the group intensified when ACORN helped President Obama in his election campaign. And now a videotape has surfaced which has prompted calls for investigations of ACORN's activities. Here's Jake Tapper.
It's the nation's largest grassroots organization lobbying for and reaching out to poor and minority communities. ACORN has received about $20 million in federal funds in the last decade and has helped those communities with voter registration, housing, and employment issues. But despite close relationships with Democrats, the Senate, and today the White House are reviewing all their ties to the group.
The conduct that you see on those tapes is completely unacceptable.
Those tapes were made by two young conservatives, dressed as a prostitute and a pimp, receiving advice from ACORN employees in different cities on how to skirt the law and hide a fictitious prostitution ring.
Find another name.
Find another name for...
And don't say that you're prostituting or whatever.
This is not the first time ACORN has drawn bad headlines. Last week, 11 ACORN employees in Miami were arrested and charged with voter registration fraud.
Republicans have long opposed ACORN's politics and methods. Last year, they attacked the president and his campaign for ties to the group.
Those allegations didn't stick, but these videos, shown frequently on Fox News Channel, seem to constitute a tipping point. The Census Bureau has canceled its relationship with ACORN. The Senate voted to kill ACORN housing grants, and Republicans are calling for investigations.
These are not isolated incidents. ACORN's been charged with voter fraud.
ACORN CEO Bertha Lewis announced that ACORN has fired some of the employees on the tapes, and today she ordered an independent audit of the organization.
This was indefensible.
But Lewis argues the attacks by Republican lawmakers and conservative pundits against ACORN employees have an undertone of racism.
I think they're, basically saying these people shouldn't be trusted. How could they be trusted? They're all poor black and brown people.
Whatever the reason, ACORN now finds itself with few defenders on Capitol Hill or in the West Wing. Jake Tapper, ABC News, the White House.